joining us again on Southwest Boxing Media. We really do appreciate your time, mate. We know how busy you are.
Sure, no problem, mate. It's a pleasure coming on. Last time, what was we? We was in proper lockdown last time, weren't we?
Yeah, I think we did go back in about May. I think it was May time, I think, Spence.
It was. I don't think I had any hair then, is that right?
Well, I was going to say, it's definitely looking thicker anyway.
It's grown a bit, mate.
So Spence, to kick us off, you've been really busy. Obviously, you and Johnny Nelson, you've set up a new venture called Get On It.
Yeah.
A boxing fitness plan. Can you tell us about the new venture?
Yeah, so basically what it was we was in lockdown, as we all know, and there was, while we was in full lockdown, I was doing a lot of training with my daughter Tia, and so you're doing these online training programs, and we're following different ones, and they're all squats, and the industry is saturated with people doing the same sort of stuff, squats and this and that. But there was no boxing programs on there, nothing that you could do in the comfort of your own home with no equipment. Obviously, me and Johnny are we're really good mates anyway. We were speaking daily, and I said to Johnny, listen, we need to jump on this, mate. I said, with the way the world is at the moment, we're in a pandemic. Things don't look like they're going to change anytime soon. People are not going back to the gyms. Let's do a boxing program. Let's put a boxing program together that everyone can do at home. Doesn't matter how fit you are. Doesn't matter what shape you are, what age you are. You can do it in the comfort of your own home. And it's a program, a 12-round boxing fitness program we designed that everybody can take part in. It's a bit of fun. You can do it on your own, or you can do it with somebody. You don't need any equipment, as I said, and it's really good fun. It's really good, mate. If I'm honest, it's called Get On It. Did you get that? Get On, Oliver Nelson. Oliver Nelson.
Yeah, we
love it, mate.
Exactly. So it's getonit.johnnynelson.co.uk. You can get that online, and it's just really good. It's something we really enjoy doing. We've done it as soon as we come out of lockdown. We put it together. There's strength and conditioning workouts on there, weekly training programs. Diet programs. It's good for everyone.
You mentioned, Spence, that, as you said, there was so many people sort of, jumping on that train and doing that during lockdown. Tyson Fury was one we saw doing it daily with a family. What were your thoughts on his one, mate? And was that sort of an influence for you, maybe?
Absolutely loved it. I loved it. He's a great inspiration for a lot of people, Tyson Fury. I was watching that daily, watching what he was doing. Didn't take part in any of it at all, but I used to like watching it, and I thought it was brilliant. That's where the idea come from. Really thinking, we could do something. We could put something together that's really professional. Tyson Fury was basically doing it on his phone, wasn't he, with his wife, and he was putting it together, and he was pulling people through a rough time. So you got to give him credit for that. Everyone loved it. And I just saw a hole in the market. I thought, if we get this done and we get it done professionally, we had a good team behind us that put it all together, and I thought, it would look really good. So we designed it as if we was in a front room. That was the idea of it, and then we've done some strength and conditioning stuff that goes with it as well, and some MP3 skipping circuits and stuff like that. But that's really where the idea come from. I think, watching Fury doing that, I thought, you know what, this is brilliant. And he had such a big audience. I thought there's a market there for us to be able to do something. It's a one-off package that you can buy for like $30. I don't know, when you go on there, when people go on there and see it, there's so much that you get for your money. It's just, it's a really cool thing that we designed. I suppose it did come from Tyson Fury, really. Actually, you look a little bit like Tyson Fury. Funny you say that. Has anybody ever said that?
Oh, Spence, Scott's never going to let that go now, mate. You're probably right in it there.
Spence, I get Carl Froch all the time.
I can see it. That was, by the way, that was Cole Froch before he had all his work done. You look like Cole Froch before he had all his work done. Because you know that Cole Froch now looks 10 years younger than when he was boxing, don't you?
Yeah, he's done a few old surgeries, hasn't he, old Carl?
He looks brilliant, mate. He looks brilliant. I was with him actually. We was together. We was recording a thing that I do on TalkSport called Fight of My Life. That's right, and we've done it with different people. We've done it with Nigel Benn. We've got Chris Eubank coming up. We've done it with Steve Collins.
Was it with the Taylor fight? Was it with his Taylor? Was it with the Taylor fight you did it with him?
Yeah, it was the Taylor fight, and so we met up. Cole, you know, very kindly come down to London to record it. We've done it in the studios. Yeah, it was brilliant, mate. It was really good. He talks about the fight that really moulded him. That was the fight that moulded him into the fighter that he become. It's it's a great series we do on TalkSport as well.
Yeah, I've got to say I loved the Nigel Benn when he did. I think it's my favourite so far. That fight with McLaren is just it's unbelievable. Yeah. I mean, it's got a documentary made about this. I mean, that goes without saying how good, you know, and how crazy that fight was.
It was brilliant, mate. We started off with Darren Barker as well. That was series 1. We're recording series 2 now, actually. I think we're doing Tim Witherspoon next week. Yeah, it's good, mate. We've got some really good ones on there. We've done Duke McKenzie as well. That was really good. Yeah, they're really interesting. The ones that are fighting my life, because the fights that a lot of the fighters pick are not necessarily the ones that you would expect them to. But I think the idea of the program was it was an idea that I come up with and put to TalkSport. Actually, the idea of the program was to talk to the fighter that they feel that propelled them to the next level and develop them as a fighter and create, you know, develop them into the fighter that they become. And yeah, it's interesting some of the fights that some of them chose. Yeah, really good. It's good. It's good fun. It's great recording it.
Speaking quickly, everyone, about Get On It, I saw a blooper reel with you and Johnny Nelson, and it looked like it took you quite a few takes to get things right. Am I right in saying that, Spence?
I've got to say, mate, they stitched me up. That's all it was. They stitched me up. No, what happened was I'll tell you how we done it. It was mad because when I put the idea, Johnny said, yeah, let's do it. All right, brilliant. What are we going to do? All right, let's work it out. We'll work it out. We actually worked it out when we got there. It was like, because it was not a sort of like, you can't work combinations out and this and that. So I said to Johnny, how are we going to do this? So he said to me, so the girl that was doing it, Katie said, why don't you do 6 rounds, Spencer, and Johnny, you do 6 rounds. And I went, all right, brilliant. I'll go first. There's a funny story behind this. I said, all right, brilliant. I'll go first. He said, yeah, all right, you go first. Now, I'm obviously, or was a super bantamweight, so I'm a small guy. Johnny was a cruiserweight. So I knew that if I was going first, I'd done rounds 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, and 11. That left Johnny with 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. So I knew that each time, so when we started off, the first round was just all about the jab. So we teach, there's a boxing tutorial on there as well. You teach people how to box and they have a serious workout with it as well. The first one was a jab. So round 2, Johnny's doing a 1-2. Round 3, I'm doing a 1-2 hook. So anyway, I'd done the first 6 rounds. And so I progressively picked the tempo up on each round. So can you imagine by the time I got round to 9, 11, I'm just whacking away and I'm just going for it. So Johnny's sitting there and I can see him out the corner of our eye. He's thinking, can we swear on it?
Yeah, go for it.
He's thinking, fuck, what am I going to do? So I've gone over and I'm finished, right? I've done my 6 rounds, but I'm knackered. And I said to him, where you go? And he went, mate, he said, like, you're like the fittest person I've ever met. He went, you're like a little bunny rabbit. So Johnny had to go with that tempo through the rounds. And that's why it's such a good workout. Because I know that anyone that completed 12 rounds, I go, you're in good nick. Don't worry about that. It's just shadow boxing and throwing combinations and you're following the combinations and the rolls, etc. But yeah, we put everything into it. We really went for it. But it was quite funny because like at the end of it, Johnny was just sweating like I've never seen anyone sweat like it before. It was good, mate. It was really good.
Now we spoke of lockdown. We mentioned lockdown, Spence. I mean, you had the pleasure of being in and around Fight Camp. I just want to get your thoughts on it. How impressed were you with the setup and the whole thing altogether?
I'm glad you asked me about Fight Club actually, because it was. Look, I've travelled the world really boxing. I've been doing the commentary side of things now and the punditry stuff. I've been doing it for 22 years, and I mean, Saudi was unbelievable when we went out there with Anthony Joshua and that whole experience of going to Saudi, and it was just just being in a different. They're like just a crazy place that it was. But it was an unreal experience. But Fight Club, for me, would go down as, I think, arguably one of the best things that I've done in boxing, as an experience. It was just incredible. So we had a quarter of a hotel, a little Holiday Inn that was on the edge of, round about at Brentwood, We had a quarter of that hotel was like a bubble. So we got tested. You went to your room, you stayed there 15 hours. If you was okay, you come out. So everybody would get their food from this one little hatch, or the food would get delivered to your room. And all the fighters were in this little forecourt. And there was just like, say if there's like 8 tables, you'd have Delphine Bassoon sitting on one table, Katie Taylor sitting on a table opposite her, Dillian Whyte on, another table, Povetkin. So everyone was like up close and personal, which is really unusual in fight week, because you normally want to rip your opponent's head off. And so everyone's now got a mix of each other. And it was just a surreal thing. It was just, the whole experience is unreal, because you got to know people like personally, where you don't normally do that. And we also got to see them train properly, whereas normally you just see them train for the cameras. So it was just an unreal experience. I could probably, I'd say it was probably one of the best experiences of my life, of my boxing life to date, if I'm honest, because it's just because of what we were going through and what Eddie Hearn had to overcome to get it all together was incredible. All 4 weeks were unbelievable, but for that one for me was the best. And fight night itself, I think what Eddie done was he created something magical, because he created an atmosphere without anybody there. And I think that was, like the vision that he had to do that was incredible. And like I say, the settings, when we was there and all the flames were going off and the music was going, and like you felt like you was in a packed arena, but you weren't, if that makes sense. Yeah. And I think the fighters felt that as well. And that's why every week you got an unbelievable, there was no bad contest. There was not one poor contest on the bill. That goes right through the card from the the bottom of the bill right to the top. And I think that was because of what we was going through and the opportunity that these fighters got, and they wanted to showcase their skills on the big platform, and they knew that there was probably 3 times the amount of people that would normally watch boxing watching it, because everyone was in lockdown. So I think you got to take your hats off to Matchroom Boxing and Eddie Hearn for creating something quite special. Frank Warren done a great job getting boxing off the ground as well, doing his stuff in the studios, and then later on he started doing it at York Hall and stuff. But what Eddie done in that garden, man, that was unbelievable. That was incredible.
Yeah, I've got to agree, mate. Now, I noticed Darren Barker got involved in the cricket. Eddie was dropping a few bars in the karaoke. Did you, get involved in anything yourself, mate?
I was involved in all of that, mate. They didn't show any of my cricket because I got bowled out with the first ball, and they didn't show any of my singing because I was that bad. So, but yeah, we was involved in it all. It was so cool. That's what I'm saying. Like, you're playing cricket, man. Like, we're in fight week, and you're playing cricket. We're all playing cricket together. Like, there's people fighting each other, and it was mad, man. It was just a surreal. It was just like when I sort of went away, thought about it, processed the whole thing, and sort of digested it all. I just thought that was the most insane thing that I think I've ever done. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. It was brilliant, and yeah, like I say, like credit to all the fighters and all the staff that put that together, because that was unreal.
Oh yeah, definitely. They looked pretty immense. Sat in my living room watching it. What did I ask you, Spence? What was your highlight of from the fights? I mean, I get the impression it's going to be Povetkin, Whyte, maybe for the wrong reasons. Is that right?
100%. You can't ignore that, because what happened through that fight. Now, we were there, so you can imagine, like, you can hear the punches being landed, etc. It's because there's no crowd, so it's all very quiet. So we were just a matter of feet away from the ring. So you're watching it, and I think Povetkin in the 4th round had been over a couple of times. He walked back to the corner, and as he walked back to the corner, so he's not coming back out. And apparently what they said in the corner was that you got one more round and the fight's over, because he was finished. And he'd come out and he threw an uppercut. It landed, an uppercut from the gods, man. It landed flush, and it was just really unfortunate for Dillian, because, he threw a jab. And I talked about this the whole way through, because he was punching down. And I said, if he throws a jab and he gets lazy with it, Povetkin's really good on the inside. He's really good at whipping in shots and all that. And then the shot landed so sweet, man. And as soon as it landed, you thought, oh, no, that's it. It's done. You knew before he even touched the canvas, he wasn't getting back up. So I think that was the biggest surprise. But the fight for me was Delphine Bassoon and Katie Taylor.
Yeah.
Oh, man. I mean, they've taken women's boxing to another level. Katie Taylor's obviously the pioneer for women's boxing, but that Delphine Bassoon, who,
by the way, engine on Delphine, isn't it?
It's unbelievable. And by the way, Delphine Bassoon, as a person, as a human being, is a beautiful person. She's not just. I spent a lot of time with her and her coach and the whole team, her coach Philippe and the whole team, as well as Katie Taylor, who was beautiful, and I spent time with her mum. And you just got to the stage where you think, I really wish they weren't boxing because they're just two lovely people. But what they've done in the ring, man, and what they left it all in the ring, didn't they? I mean, Katie Taylor had a brilliant start. Delphine come on strong. She broke her nose in the second round, by the way. I went into the dressing room after the fight with Delphine Bassoon just to go and see her because, like I say, we got to know her and stuff. And I went in and, man, her head was just so swollen, her nose was broke. And you just put, wow, man, I can't believe that how much they put on the line. It was incredible, but the skill set from Katie probably won her the fight. But the work rate from Delphine, a lot of people still felt she won the fight. When I was there, I thought, that's tight. That could go either way. Delphine might get it this time. Obviously, she did, and the result was the result. It's one of those ones, you know, what you're looking for. Do you look at, you know, the skill and the better classy shots from Taylor, or was it the work rate from Delphine Bassoon? But whatever it was, the girls put on an unbelievable contest. And for me, that was probably fight of the night for me. It was insane. It was unreal. Delphine took the defeat graciously. Hopefully we'll see her back on these shores again because she's unbelievable. Women's boxing at the moment. How's that going? That's going mad, isn't it?
Crazy.
Yeah, it is. Definitely. It's buzzing, mate, isn't it? It's superb to see.
Absolutely.
Spencer, just to touch back upon Dillian there, what's your thoughts on this rematch? Is it too soon for you after such a big knockdown? What's your thoughts on that?
Well, do you know what? I think he's in a position where he had to do that. He had to go into the immediate rematch. I think that was in the contracts anyway. But of course, I think in an ideal world, we want to see Dillian regain a bit of confidence, you know, get back in there. But look, he was winning the fight and he got caught with a shot. Going into the immediate rematch for me, I think he still wins it. But it's a dangerous fight for him. It really is. And I'll tell you why it's dangerous now, because Dillian's gone from being mandatory #1, which he's been waiting for 3 years, for 1,000 days or something. He's gone from the mandatory status and looking like he was going to be boxing Tyson Fury as early as February next year, to now he's a career on the line, if you like.
Yeah, it's a career-defining fight, isn't it?
It's a career-defining fight. And I tell you what, when people, I know people will listen to this and go, what the fuck's he talking about, career-defining? What I'm saying is, in Dillian's position...
Where's he going next if he loses, Spence, isn't it?
But this is the point. Dillian's so dangerous that no one wants to fight him. And that's why he's not had his shot, because he's that good. And I think, if he loses a game, it's a long road back for Dillian. It's a really long road back. I still think he can do it because I think he's got the hunger. You know, I was speaking to him afterwards. He was so gracious in defeat as well. He took it cool and went, you know what? That's boxing. It happens. And credit to him for going straight back into the immediate rematch, because Povetkin can fight, man. He's dangerous. He's really dangerous. Who do I think wins? I think Dillian wins a rematch. I think he was winning so convincingly the first one and he got caught with a shot. I think he'll get the job done this time, and I don't think he'll make that same mistake. But it proved in heavyweight boxing, one shot turns everything around. And I think that's possible for everyone. You know, we've got like Joshua supposedly boxing Pulev this year. They're talking about December. They're talking about December the 12th for that date. I'm not sure. I think they're still waiting to see if they can get crowds in by that time. They probably can't get crowds in, but the fight will probably still go ahead. And if it does, you know, it's a dangerous fight. It's heavyweight boxing. Povetkin's very heavy-handed. I'm sorry, not Povetkin. Pulev is very, very heavy-handed. You know, it's one of those ones. Tyson Fury's meant to be boxing Deontay Wilder again. That fight supposedly happened. Deontay Wilder's still not signed the contracts, but that's supposedly happening in December. I think, speaking to Frank Warren last week, Frank said the only thing they're waiting for is to see if they can get crowds in or not, because the fight doesn't work without crowds. But it might not. They might just have to take the pay cut and go without the crowds, because otherwise the fight's not going to happen. But if that happens, I know everyone's going, well, you know, we won so convincingly last time, but with a guy that carries that much power, anything can happen. And that was proven by what happened with Dillian Whyte and Povetkin. Heavyweight boxing, you know, there's never a dead cert. You know, I expect Fury to win the rematch easily. I expect him to win, but it's still a dangerous fight. Same for Joshua, dangerous fight. Same for Dillian Whyte, dangerous fight. You know, they're all dangerous fights. Heavyweight division at the moment is the best it's been in for many, many, many years.
Yeah, I agree, mate.
Totally, mate, yeah. Spencer, I'd like to ask you, from a pundit sort of point of view, a friend of ours, Gavin Gwynne, fought at on Fight Camp Week 1. And me and Ciaran found it really difficult to sort of be impartial, obviously knowing Gavin as well as we do.
Yeah.
Is it difficult for sort of, for you, for Matthew Macklin, for all the workers at Sky to try and remain neutral, considering how well you know some of the fighters?
Well, do you know what? It is difficult. But I say to the fighters, this is my personal thing. But this is what I say, because it is difficult, because you don't want to be seen to be biased, because you can't be, because that's your job. So I say to, you know, everyone that I speak to about fights now, Cole Froch, I'll give you a great example. Cole Froch. Now, when Cole Froch boxed George Groves the first time, I said to Cole, Cole wins the fight. It's too soon for George Groves or whatever. And then what happened when the fight happened, Cole scraped through, caused all the controversy, which brought boxing back to the football stadiums, etc. And in the second fight, I said, Cole shouldn't have done that. I think that the cracks were starting to appear. He's had a long, hard career. He's been great for boxing. But I think George Groves wins this fight. And Cole got a little bit upset about that. And now he's on this side of the fence. I said to him, Cole, me and you were good mates before I said that. But this is not personal. This job's not personal. It's an opinion. And I think that's what the fighters struggle to deal with. That when you say, oh, I think they're going to get beat, they take it personally. Yeah. It's not a personal thing. Because I say to a lot of fighters, listen, I say to fighters to their face, I say, listen, I don't know. Like they say, what do you reckon? Do you think? And I said, I don't think you can. I don't know, mate. I don't think you might not win this one. This is not, do you know what I mean? It's not personal. It's an opinion. You know what I mean? Please, and I say to them all as well, please prove me wrong. Do you know what I mean? I want you to prove me wrong, because that would be the best thing that could ever happen. But I've got to give my professional opinion. And I think that's what I try and do anyway. But it is difficult, because your heart's with someone, but your head's somewhere else. Yeah. And that's the difficult thing. When your heart's in one place and your head's in the other place, it's a very difficult thing to do. I think it's just having the bottle to actually come out and say it.
I saw Spence that mentioning Johnny, that Tyson Fury seemed that he had taken it a bit personally about what Johnny's prediction for his fight with Anthony Joshua. Yeah. I mean, what was your thoughts on that? He was just giving it an opinion, I thought.
100%. I've spoken to Johnny about it. You know, Johnny replied to me and said, do me a favour, Tyson, please prove me wrong. He said, I'm just giving you an opinion. Johnny, you know, Johnny's cut from the same cloth as me. We're a little bit old school, as in, like, we're only going to say what we feel. We're not going to paint it up to think whatever else. And so, you know, when we say, because I said that I think, I was another one that said, I think me and Johnny were the only ones that said we think Joshua wins. Now, people think, oh, well, you've got a connection with Joshua because you've brought up with your amateur club and your dad trained him and your uncle trained him, etc. It's not. I'm giving my personal opinion. And I think Johnny done that as well. You know, and fair play to Johnny for doing that. But Tyson got the ump about it. He did get the ump about it, and I saw him saying he wanted to punch him in the head or do something. But I just said, look, you know, these guys have got to realise that we don't like. So you might say to me, who do you think's going to win, Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua? Who would you say?
I've got to say, my opinion is I lean towards Fury. I've always been a massive Joshua fan, but honest opinion, Fury.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that, because you're saying Fury, right? I'm saying Joshua, but the reality is, we like, no one knows. You could be wrong, I could be wrong. Like, it's one of those fights. It's a 50-50 fight, and you're just henching your betties somewhere. Look, ask me. I'm a betting man. I don't mind having a little bet here and there, a little flutter or whatever. I wouldn't bet on that, because I'm like, that's just like you really just you know what I mean? It's one of those fights that we really don't know.
Throwing money away.
It's just an opinion, and that's the that's the thing about the job that we do. It's just an opinion. It's not a personal thing, and you have to do that. You've got to be. You can't be biased or do whatever because it's your mate. You know, it's like you've got to say what you feel, and that's how you stay employed. You know, otherwise it just when it becomes when you're being too biased, then it's not good for for the public to listen to. So that's what we try and do.
Definitely, mate. So Usyk Chisora is sort of the next massive heavyweight fight you've got to look forward to. I mean, it'll be such a pity Spence won that fight without any punters there. Do you think it could be any fans allowed maybe?
No, there's no fans allowed. I know already.
Definitely not happening.
I'm working on that show, actually. I'm working there all week, and it's the same thing, going into a bubble.
Nightmare.
Yeah, no, there's no crowd. Now, there's another one. Derek Chisora's a mate of mine, a good mate of mine. Like, as in, I've known him since he was a 16-year-old kid, since he come to this country, really. He was trained by my uncle as an amateur. I think Usyk wins.
Yeah.
Do you know? Now I know Derek, as in, like, Derek's a pal of mine, as in, like, I will go out with Derek. Do you know what I'm saying? But what I'm saying is, and I pray that he proves me wrong, but I'm just giving you my professional opinion, that I believe that Usyk will have too much. Derek will put in a big charge at the beginning. Usyk will use his boxing skills. He moves around. He's got unbelievable feet for a big guy. He's got good hands. He's got good power. And I think that he'll just build a big lead and maybe beat Chisora into submission, you know, into the later rounds, maybe 9, 10, 11. That's how I feel that the fight will go.
Like a carbon copy of the Bellew fight, maybe, do you think, Spence?
Do you know what? It might, the Derek Chisora and Usyk fight might go the way that Derek Chisora, Tyson Fury 2 went. Like that sort of fight. That's how I feel that it'll be, because it's a similar sort of style to Fury, as in he moves and peppers away with his shots. And I feel that sort of style is difficult for Derek. Anyone that wants to stand in front of Derek's got a great chance. He's an unbelievable fighter, Derek, by the way, strong as an ox. And he could catch Usyk and he could get him out of there. But I just feel that Usyk's better boxing skills will take him to victory maybe later on.
As well as being an insanely good fighter, Usyk, as we've said, he's certainly a character as well, Spence. I mean, how brilliant is this build-up between them both being? It's been awesome.
That's what I mean, man. The build-up's been sensational. Like, with Derek's been playing his part, you know, Usyk's been playing his part. Who would have thought Derek Chisora, right? It's lost, what's he had, 42 contests or something, lost 9. Like, you'd never think you'd still be mixing at top level at that stage, but it's because every fight that Derek's in, even if win or lose, he puts up an unbelievable fight. And the crowd have warmed to him and they love him. And now he's found this new character that he's become a lovable rogue, isn't he, Derek? He's become that, you know what I mean? He was that guy that people loved to hate before. And now he's just a cool guy that everyone loves because he puts it all on the line. He gives value for money. And he'll take it to Usyk. Well, he's not hiding what he's saying. He said he'll go for it. He's training like a lunatic, by the way, at the moment as well. And Usyk is, I think for the first time in Derek Chisora's life, he's met someone equally as mad. Yeah, do you know what I mean?
Speaking of mad, Spence, I think you did it on the podcast. Yeah, you did actually. I'm pretty sure you did. Can you give us your best Derek impression for us?
Derek! Derek!
I trained Derek.
Yeah, I trained Derek. I'm running Derek.
Mate, how good has that been? It's been awesome, isn't it?
That was brilliant, man. Everything. And Derek's been replying to it as well. Listen, that's going to be a great fight. A great fight. Whatever happens, however that goes, like, listen, me, like 99% of the people think that Usyk wins. But what I'm saying is it won't be easy. No, it won't be easy. And that's for sure. Derek will take it to him, man. Like, Derek knows he's sort of like having the last roll of the dice, really. Because what can happen here is if Derek beats Usyk, he finds himself in mandatory position for Joshua's WBO title. So all of a sudden, his next fight could be worth 4 or 5 million quid.
Of course, you know,
and he's in the twilight of his career, and he'll give it everything, and he'll go for it, man. So, you know, if Usyk comes and he wins the fight, he's going to know he's been in a fight. Trust me.
Definitely. Speaking of pound for pound impressions, we've got on Sunday, we've got Whyte is fighting, haven't we, Spence? You looking forward to that one? Go on, Keith, give us your best Whyte.
Yeah.
Whyte.
Can't wait for that, mate. I'm looking forward to that. He's got quite a difficult fight as well, you know. He's boxing a guy, Marco Kalic. Yeah, so he's unheard of over these shores. He's a Croatian guy. He's 11-0 with 6 KOs. He beat Alan Babic as an amateur. He beat him twice as an amateur. They boxed 3 times. He beat him twice as a heavyweight. So he's now down at light heavyweight. He boxed, you know, in the World Boxing Super Series. He's a tough guy. He's a tough guy. But Boazzi, for me, is one of the best talents in the world, not just in British boxing, in the world. I believe that Boazzi is the one well, you know, Whyte and Anthony Yarden's the fight we all want to see. But I think this is, you know, credit to Whyte for taking this fight because he's in a position here with it's like high risk, no reward. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
As in, he's boxing someone that can fight, and he's just putting it on the line. Yeah. So yeah, credit to him. It's going to be a great fight. WBA International Light Heavyweight title. Looking forward to that.
I've heard rumours as well, Spence, if Whyte comes to his fight, I think Callum Johnson is set to fight for the European title soon as well. You mentioned there Whyte-Yard obviously be an outstanding fight, but also what about Whyte-Johnson? That'd be mega as well, wouldn't it?
Unbelievable fight because Johnson comes to fight stylistically. That would be unreal because both guys will take centre of the ring straight away. Callum Johnson's one tough cookie as well, strong guy. Not the sort of guy. He's sort of gone under the radar a little bit, Callum Johnson, really, because he's an unbelievable fighter as well. And I would not put that past him. Oh, that's an horrible fight to choose from as well. Whyte and Johnson. That's a tough fight, a really tough fight. You know, I think Johnson's up there with the best of them as well. And these are the fights that we want to see. And these are the fights, by the way, that this pandemic has brought closer together. I think because of what's happened in this pandemic now, these fighters are going to be getting it on sooner rather than later because you're not going to be able to build the profiles as much now because we've not got as many shows going on. So I think that, you know, the promoters, Frank Warren and Eddie Hearn, they're going to want to get these fights on sooner rather than later. Yeah. So I think that, you know, I think for boxing fans, they're going to see some good fights over the next 12, 18 months, that's for sure.
Are there any... oh, go on, Dean.
No, go on, Scott. You carry on, mate.
I was going to say, Spence, is there any fights in particular now you're looking forward to? Obviously, we've got, you mentioned AJ Pulev. Are there any other sort of fights we've got coming up this year that you're particularly looking forward to?
Who am I looking forward to this year? So, yeah, we've got Whyte there. Oh, yeah, on the undercard as well. So, Chantel Cameron's boxing. She's boxing for the WBC Super Lightweight title. Looking forward to that. Chantel Cameron's a great little fighter. Jessica McCaskill vacated that title when she moved up and beat Braskus for all 4 titles. So that's I'm looking forward to that. Cameron's a great little fighter. Who else have we got on there? Alan Babbitt as well. He's great as well. Love Alan Babbitt. He's a real personality. So he was on the fight camp card as well. And so I got to know him personally. Great character, amazing story. You know, tough guy, comes from a tough background, Croatian, worked on the doors, and he's just got some deep voice, and he's a really charismatic guy. So looking forward to seeing him moving on as well. Who else have we got going up?
What about John Edges, Spence? John Edges' debut. Looking forward to seeing that.
I'm glad you mentioned John Edges. 6'5", super middleweight, incredible. So I know him from the amateurs, actually. Yeah, know him from the amateurs. Seen him box a few times. Great fighter. You know, uses his height and reach. He whacks a little bit, throws in good body shots. Looking forward to his development, actually. I'm not sure how long he'll be able to stay down at super middleweight because he's so big. He's just a giant. But, he's making his debut on Sunday as well, isn't he, on the undercard of Whyte. So looking forward to watching his progress, watching his development, really. And he's a lovely kid as well. He's from round my way. He's not far from me. Boxed for Hoddesdon. Sam Leo's his trainer, who's training him as a pro as well. So yeah, great little team there. Good team.
Yeah, Scott, we speak to John quite regularly, mate, don't we? And we've got a second that he's a top guy, isn't he?
Yeah, top guy. And I think he'll do well. I think he'll do well. He's got the right mindset for the game. You know, he's got the right attitude. He lives, eats, sleeps boxing. So yeah, looking forward to John's development. I really am. It's exciting times. You know what, actually, the kids that are coming through now, there's such a wealth of talent coming through. It's unreal. It really is. And it's, you know, there's just like when you go through the amateur gyms, you look through the amateur gyms and you look at the depth of talent in the amateur gyms and the volume of people as well. Just shows how big boxing's becoming. Boxing's becoming like a mainstream, or it is a mainstream sport now. You know, when I was boxing, it was really for the niche market. It was only watched by certain people, but now boxing's become so fashionable, everyone loves it. I think that again is down to Eddie Hearn and what he's done. He's turned boxing from, you know, the small hall arenas into these big events. And these, you know, they're events now. They're not boxing fights. They're actually events. So women actually want to go to them now. Like when Joshua's boxing or any of the big fights, like my Mrs. Nicola and my daughter Tia, they're like, make sure you get me in there. Make sure you it's like they just love the boxing. Everyone loves boxing now. It's mad.
Yeah, it's great to see you, mate.
It's great.
Well, Spence, I got to say on behalf of myself and Ciaran, thanks again for your time. It's been fantastic.
Yeah, pleasure, mate.
We'll continue to listen to Pound for Pound. It's the biggest and best podcast out there. I've got to say. And we'll look forward to speaking to you soon, mate.
Yeah, look forward to that, mate. And so, anyone listening, and you two as well, by the way, get on it.
Yeah,
get on it. JohnnyNelson.co.uk. Let me see them muscles. Let me see what's going on there. What you got?
Yeah, give me that to Scott them.
Yeah, right, listen. No excuses, boys. Go and get on it.
Okay.
All right.
Take care.
Cheers,
Take care.